Hey, welcome. Like and subscribe. Okay, so I've been really getting into this game, Million Arthur Arcanum Blood. Now, initially they weren't going to do English release in the North America, but they have decided to do one, and they're going to release on stream. So people are probably going to be looking to pick up this game, trying out the characters, and maybe scouting out, see what they like. Well, right now, I've been playing Beef Arthur, and this is going to be a small little guide for relatively starter combos. Beginner routes, and I'm going to go over some of the mechanics of the game, the fundamentals, so that you can get a real sense of what's going on. And I'm going to make sure it's in a variety of different situations. But don't worry, overall the combos in this game are very easy, especially if you want them to be easy. Like, this game is as easy as you want it to be on yourself. There's some very optimal stuff you can go for, but it only tacks on like extra 200 damage, an extra 300 here or there, and it's not necessary. Just do what's reliable, and those sort of combos usually take time to learn and to progress. And I just want to give you the basis of what you need to get started right away. So let's go over the moves quickly. So we have A here. I believe it's a 6-frame startup, and it goes into an auto combo, so you can just mash A. And as you can see, it does 3,774. So at the bare minimum, we want to be doing more damage than that in our basic combos. We also have 2A, which has word inspiration. So as you can see, it only does 3.3k off the auto combo instead. And that's it for the A moves, okay? So next we have B, which is going to be your bread and butter. Like, these moves are really what you're going to be making use of. So we have her 5B right here, and it's a really good move. It kicks her forward a little bit. You really need to be mindful of the ranges. So you can cancel A's into B's typically, and B's into C's, so you can't go to A. So it's like a linear progression like that. C's only going to B's, really, unless you can jump cancel it. Luckily, most of her stuff is jump cancelable, even though they're all technically negative. There's an overdrive mechanic called a champ boost, like that. It costs 100 meter. We probably won't be going into that this one. And on the top left, you'll see that there's 5 bars and the assists. I use a level 1, 2, and 2 level 2 assists. It's just the majority of her preference, but they're elemental weaknesses to each other. So wind is strong against ice, ice is strong against fire, and fire is strong against wind. Basically what that means is you're not doing extra damage to a character, like, because Thief is a wind-based character. If you pick a fire character, you're not doing extra damage to her because you're fire. It's basically only for combo mechanics. So if you go wind and into a fire, it gives I forget what it's called. I believe it's enchant counter, and basically it gives like extra hit stun, or extra properties, or like combo time or some small things like that. So that's why I mine laid out the way I do. If you're going to do the same elements as your own, then most likely it's going to be a level 3 super and you're using it for damage. Anyways, back to the moves. So we got 5C, we got 2C. This is not an anti-air, and it's the real, which is a real shame, but it is really good combo finish. And you can jump cancel it, where you can't do that with the 5C. And I forgot the 2B. Now this move you really don't want to be using all that much. It has longer range than the 5B, but you can't cancel it into anything but C moves. So you're pretty committed if you're throwing it out into 5C. And you got your anti-air 6C. Now this move is not very impressive, but it is good for attacking on damage. And then you got your 5D and 2D. I believe that's it for all the normals in the game. So as you can see, it's very light, where it supplements that is in the assist and making use of like the elemental properties of those and mixing them with your own options. And then okay, so let's see, what other things do we have to cover? Oh yeah, specials. So each character has one particular special on the ground. So she has this one where it's not a grab. It's basically a combo filler, and it hits them out of the corner, which is most of the time bad, but you can go into shivers like that. And B1 goes further than the A1, but obviously there's more commitment towards that. And then you have your air normal. You have your JA, JB, JC. JC, you can't jump cancel, so you have to go into a B move off that. So unless you're enchant boosted, if you're seeing JC, it's ending. It's ending your options in there. You have your JD, which is really good, and you have your quarter circle, or your half circle back, D. And this is your best Oki tool, or one of your best Oki tools. You can end a combo, most of the time you'll be wanting to end in this move compared to this, which is the half circle back. I forgot to mention that one. I'm kind of doing it on the wing, so I don't have everything perfectly put together. Okay, so now that we've gone through all the moves, let's start with the basic A combo. So right now we're trying to beat 3,000, I believe it was 3,500, 3,700. But you can cancel into, okay, 3,700. So for the first two A's, like this part, you can cancel into 5B, or you can cancel into 6B and go into the specific area. And that's 4.4k with BCOP, which is pretty good. And if you want to add, you want to do the 5B to add on even more damage, it's all up to you. Now that's just the basic. It's just a basic hit. You also have this, which is good if you don't want to switch to the other side of the 5B, and if you want to maintain pressure. You can also go for this, which is another really good option, and it does a lot of damage. And also it's straight 5D, you can just go into 6D. Now those are just real basic combos that you can do that's really improving your gameplay. Another one you'll see a lot is your jump in B. And you can just do 4.7k, just like that. Now, normally you would try to go for either oops, I messed that up. But basically that's a more expert route, and I'll probably be doing a video on those at another time. In a separate video. This is mainly just for beginners. And yeah, so her combos are very easy. Just go anytime you can, go into 6B and then 5A or JA, sorry. JA, JB, JA, JB, JC, and into the half circle back. Now, you want to know an assist one probably as well, how to make use of the assists. There's two up there. Or, this is one of the better ones for her in the game, because she's a wing element. It gives you that counter property and lets you follow it up really easily. That's the only way you can follow up off the half circle back on the ground, is off an ice move. So if you see people doing that and wonder why you can't, that's why. So 5B, B, 2B, 5C into 5B, or I mean into 2B, and then you go into the level 1 assist, and then you can just go 5B, 5B, 2C, and then just the jumping rope. And that's another really easy combo you can do. Any other ones that I would like to mention? I don't know. No, probably not. This is probably good enough to give you a really basic sense of what